This is Sarah Syed. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Sarah has won first place at the Toronto Science Fair and the UTSC Best Environmental Award. She was a finalist at the International GENIUS Olympiad and won the Nature Inspiration Finalist Award, which is offered to only 4 youths across Canada. Sarah is a top 25 under 25 environmentalist. She loves sharing her passion and journey in STEM with other young youth groups. She has organized a community STEM club at her school and an international hackathon with over $42,000 in prizes and 1,000 participants. Amazing. Do you have a presentation that you want to share, Sarah?
Yes, I do. And thank you so much for the introduction.
You're welcome.
So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today at the Southern Ontario Growth Conference. It is an absolute honor and pleasure to be speaking here today. And before we continue, I would love to say thank you to the organizers of this conference for giving me this incredible opportunity to present. So a bit about me. My name is Sarah, as you guys know, and my environmental journey began in grade 4, actually through a school project where I had to present about the detrimental impacts that climate change has on our environment. It was then and there that I decided that I wanted to be a part of that solution towards solving aspects of the climate crisis. And so I began to volunteer with various organizations. However, science is my true calling. And so I decided to combine my passion for environmental stewardship and science to develop some really cool projects, one of which I'll be talking to you about today. You see, it's quite unfortunate that we live in a world where plastic is commonly used. 1 million animals die each year due to plastic pollution. And this is because there are 5.1 trillion pieces of plastic in our ocean. What's really heartbreaking is that plastic pollution or petroleum-based plastics don't degrade within just a few months, but take over 500 years, affecting biodiversity and polluting our environment. This was a crisis that I wanted to solve, and so I began my research journey. I discovered something known as biodegradable plastics, which are plastics made from organic materials that have a high yield in starch and that can degrade in various environments. There are a few biodegradable plastics currently in circulation, but they're made from food sources such as potatoes or cornstarch. I didn't want to add to another global crisis, which is poverty, by solving one crisis, which is plastic pollution. And so I conducted further research to find a possible solution. And so I discovered banana peels, avocado peels, and potato peels all having a high yield in starch. And thus my journey of creating my biodegradable plastic began. So at first I needed to extract the starch from my materials, and I used the hydrolysis of amylopectin using hydrochloric acid to create a thin film plastic. One of the main challenges when developing my biodegradable plastic was decreasing the brittleness, increasing the plasticity, and as well the shelf life. Through further research and testing and in contact with my mentors, I discovered propane 1,2,3 trial and sodium metabisulfate to help increase the shelf life of my biodegradable plastic, but also not affect its degradability. My final prototype had a shelf life time of 5 months and as well degraded in water and soil within just a few weeks. Emerging technologies have the power to help us solve some of the world's biggest crises, such as the climate crisis, with exponential results that can help us reach our vision, such as fusion energy, as well as solar energy and carbon capture. So we need to focus our attention towards those exponential technologies to reach a sustainable future. But we cannot do this alone. We need to work collectively as a group and as a community by sharing knowledge and engaging in community impact to reach the future of sustainability, which definitely will be a brighter future. Now, before I conclude my presentation, I would like to share 3 takeaways that I discovered when working on my biodegradable plastic, but also advice I would give to my past self. You see, when I was younger, I found it challenging to innovate and to create social change because I felt like my age was a limit. And I needed to wait till I had a PhD or some degree to create change, when in fact, this is not true at all. It's thanks to human accelerator programs like the Knowledge Society that I was able to unlock my true potential and as well develop some amazing innovations. So that's why I want to say your age is not a limit, but your superpower. When I was younger, I got to see things from a different perspective, which led me to realize that every problem has a solution. Now, when I look at a problem, I don't just see a problem anymore. I see a solution that goes along with the problem. My second takeaway is that opportunities don't come to you, but you have to go knocking on opportunities' door. For example, when developing my biodegradable plastic, I would not have been able to work at a lab if it was not for the fact that I had reached out to various professors and my science teacher to get help. Follow your passion and try to use your passion to create change. There are many resources online that we can use to help us, and many toolkits as well. Build your network and don't be afraid to reach out to professionals. One of my favorite and most memorable aspects of working on my biodegradable plastic was reaching out to various mentors and building my network so that I was able to get various pieces of advice. Face your fears and be courageous, and don't always forget to set your goals high. And that leads me to my final point. When working on my biodegradable plastic, I definitely failed the first few times. And although this might be considered as obstacles, I needed to realize that obstacles don't block the path, but they are the path indeed. Which leads me to my final point, that we should always have a growth mindset and continue to be consistent. 1% each day is better than 110% in one day and never going back to a project just because of obstacles. And continuing to have a growth mindset and continuing to persevere not only helps you grow as a person, but helps you gain new knowledge throughout the project that you're working on. And so I would like to conclude my presentation by saying that biodegradable plastics might pose as a sustainable solution to the existential crisis known as petroleum-based plastics. And I'm very thankful for all my mentors and teachers who have supported and gave me pieces of advice in working on this project, because without them, I probably would not have been here today. And so with that being said, I would like to mention that climate change and this global climate crisis, we need to work together in order to achieve a future of sustainability. Climate awareness and problem solving is a collective effort. One with the right toolkits and community impact, we can achieve the future of sustainability. Thank you so much.